Hi guys, welcome back to another e-learning video. This video will be over cube rooting numbers. I'm going to start by doing a little review of cubing numbers, and then I'll start in with the cube rooting stuff. So we have done cubing a number, and that means that you have a 3 in the little exponent. So cubing a number is just when there's a 3 up here in the exponent. So 2 to the third power, 2 cubed means 2 times 2 times 2. So you're going to have 2 3 times. And I did that. I showed 2 cubed. I showed 2 3 times. And I go ahead and multiply that out. That's first part's 4, and then times the other 2, that's 8. This is 5 cubed. It's 5 3 times. So 5 times 5 times 5. This part is 25. And times the other 5 is 125. So just a little review of how to cube a number. It just means that this base number is going to be seen 3 times. So you're going to have 2 3 times, 5 3 times, whatever the number is here, you're going to have it 3 times. So this is cube rooting. This is what it's going to look like. You're going to have a little 3 on the outside of a radical symbol. This is the radical symbol. So this is what cube rooting looks like. And then let's say you had a problem that was cube root of 8. So you're looking for a number that's something times something times something that creates 8. So all three of these are the exact same number and they create 8. So some number times itself 3 times to make 8. So what I'm going to have you do is try out some things and see which one works. So if we tried out 1 times 1 times 1, you would get 1. You try out 2 times 2 times 2, you get 8. So that is the one that works for us. That's the one that will give you 8. If you do 2 times 2 times 2, that gives you 8. And we proved that right here. So you would try these out. 1 times 1 times 1, 2 times 2 times 2, and you would go, oh, that's it. That's the one that gives me 8 when I multiply it by itself 3 times. So 2 is my answer. Let's try another one that we haven't done over here. Let's try the cubed root of 64. So you're going to go ahead and try to see what number times itself and then times itself again. So what number times the same thing 3 times in a row would give you 64. So let's try 1 times 1 times 1. Well, that's 1. 2 times 2 times 2. That's 8. 3 times 3 times 3. You go ahead and type that in the calculator. And I'll show you right here what you're going to get. So you're going to have 3 times 3 times 3. You're going to have 9 times 3, which is 27. So that doesn't work. Well, let's go on to the next one. See, let's try 4. 4 times 4 times 4. And then you will finally get 64. And you're going to, oh, okay, that's the one I want. So that worked out for me. I got 64, which means my answer is 4. So the cube root of 64 is 4 because that's the number that when you multiply it by itself 3 times gives you the number there. So those are all. Here we had examples of cubes, so a number being cubed. Here we had a couple examples of a number being cube rooted, or cube roots. And these were perfect cube root answers. So the cube root of 8 is 2. That's a perfect answer. There's no decimal there. It's a perfect cube root. So there are going to be some that are not perfect cube roots, and all I'm going to have you do is sort of just identify when that does happen. So let's say you end up with one that's 50. So you look at a question and it says cube root of 50. And you go, well, okay, what number times itself again? What number times itself 3 times gives me 50? And you go through your options. You try 1 times 1 times 1, that's 1. 2 times 2 times 2, that's 8. 3 times 3 times 3, that's 27. 4 times 4 times 4, that's 64. And you go, oh, that's too much. So nothing's worked. So what's the answer? Well, your answer is going to be a decimal. So that tells you right there that your answer is not a perfect cube root. There are calculators online that you could try to actually do it. You may own a personal calculator where you could do it, but it's not a perfect cube root. So I have a question on your assignment for cube roots. It's going to ask you which of those is not a perfect cube root answer. And you're going to have to know, well, it's the one that I could not find a number where you multiplied that number 3 times in a row to get it. Nothing works. So that one is the one that's not a perfect cube root. There is an answer. Again, there is actually an answer, but it's just not a perfect cube. If you have any more questions about sort of the basics of cubing a number, that was review, or cube rooting a number, or just how do you find out, again, if it's a cube root of a number that actually doesn't work out, how do I know that? If you didn't get it, just go ahead and email me during office hours. Ask questions during live sessions if you need help. Yeah, just let me know any way you can. I look forward to seeing you guys in all the live sessions and hearing your questions during office hours.